so ask your questions.
Bonjour, Chief Stewart
Chief.
Phillips, Grand Chief, sorry, my apologies. My name is Nisha. I'm a friend of Gladys Reddick, and what we're doing today is that we're saying bonjour and we're asking people to say hello to the families of the missing and murdered for the ones who weren't able to make it here. So speak from your heart, say bonjour.
Okay, well, I greatly appreciate the opportunity to offer a few comments, thoughts about the national inquiry that will now become a reality. I'm certainly, my heart goes out to the families of all missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls that have taken place over a number of decades now. And at long last, after countless marches, rallies, candlelight vigils, a lot of grassroots work, we finally have a government, a national government, a federal government that is willing to move forward with a national inquiry on the matter of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. At the moment, after a deluge of communications and letters that were sent to the newly elected ministers of Justice and Indigenous Affairs, Northern Canada, and Status of Women, it would appear that they have listened and are going to engage in a pre-inquiry consultation, which gives us a couple of months to organize ourselves and ensure that the design in terms of reference of the national inquiry are led by women. I think it's absolutely essential that the commissioners that will undertake the leadership role of this national inquiry be women. We don't want to make the same mistakes that were made with the so-called Opal inquiry in British Columbia, where Mr. Opal was probably the worst candidate to lead that inquiry, given his public commentary about how he didn't support inquiries. And we had no opportunity, the women's groups in British Columbia had no opportunity to engage in a discussion on the terms of reference, how it would unfold, or who should head it up. And it was an absolute failure and a missed opportunity. And we can't make that same mistake with a national inquiry. So within the next few months, we need to synergize our efforts across this country. And given the tremendous diversity across this country, that's going to prove to be very challenging. But I think if we give it our all, we'll be able to design and organize an inquiry that will be supported by the families, and will address this long outstanding issue of missing and murdered women in this country, which is a national disgrace. I think we need to look at all aspects and contributing factors which brings about this situation. And we need to canvass all of those various dimensions that culminate in the tragedy of missing and murdered women in this country. So I'm hopeful and optimistic after decades of praying and marching. Needless to say, there have been women's groups that have literally walked across this country. And of course, I refer to the Walk for Justice that traversed this entire country on a number of occasions to draw public attention to the issue of missing and murdered women. I think we need to be mindful when we move into this inquiry that we owe so many people a debt of gratitude for the opportunity community to actually have achieved this inquiry. It was a consequence of their efforts and their sacrifice that we finally achieved this historical milestone. And so I look forward to this issue. I think in many ways it's similar to the residential school issue and Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which went a long ways to make the general public, more aware of how horrible the residential school experience was, and there was no one happier than myself when Justice Sinclair declared in the final report that it represented nothing less than cultural genocide. I think this country needs to know and understand the dark underside of the colonial and neo-colonial history as it pertains to Indigenous peoples. And the issue of missing and murdered women is part of that history. And through the inquiry, we'll create a higher level of awareness. And I think it'll create an awareness in our own communities and change the attitudes and better condition and educate our young people about their values and attitudes towards girls and women. So I think all in all, it's going to be challenging but very beneficial at the end of the day. So I have faith that it's going to be a lot of heartache, heartbreak, and tears to get us through this, but I'm absolutely convinced we will be able to carry out this national inquiry and achieve a measure of healing and closure that we never ever dreamed was possible under the harsh, racist policies of the previous federal government. Thank you.
Continue, Miigwech.